I'm Michael W. Perry, and this is the Hawaiian Moving Company. Checking back in tonight with a wonderful woman we've had on the program before. A woman who is dealing with a larger-than-life challenge. Let's go cruising with Peggy Chun.
The story of Peggy Chun starts with the artwork of her twin sister, Bobby. A two-time national award winner, Bobby was the family artist. Peggy was the supportive twin. But then in 1987, Bobby's work came to an unexpected end when she was diagnosed with ALS, and Lou Gehrig's disease took her life.
Our family has a history of this disease, ALS, and as soon as Bobby was diagnosed, it was almost she was at a point then where she couldn't paint much longer. We knew she only had a few months, and actually she only had a few weeks.
Soon after her sister's death, Peggy miraculously picked up an almost instant knack for painting, something she'd never been interested in before.
I never thought I could ever paint, and Bobby would even offer painting classes, and she would be giving painting classes, and I would sit in them and think I wasn't absorbing. I must have.
With Bobby's artistic inspiration, Peggy Chun became one of Hawaii's most prolific artists, until recently, when she contracted the same disease that took her sister's life.
Because I've seen it in my twin sister and my mother and my grandfather, I knew exactly what to look for, and I think that I always knew it would come.
Lou Gehrig's disease blocks the brain's ability to communicate with muscles, and we had first caught up with Peggy when the disease was slowly affecting her legs. That, however, didn't slow Peggy down. When ALS had fully robbed her of her mobility, it started attacking her right arm and hand. But no problem yet for Peggy. Seemingly overnight, she learned to paint with her left hand. When she finally had to give up her left side, Peggy's body had just about had it. But Peggy's spirit? Well, that's another thing altogether.
Got it. Okay. And what about this scarf now? Do we need this scarf?
In just a matter of months, ALS had paralyzed Peggy from the neck down. She breathes with a ventilator. She needs 24-hour assistance. But the amazing thing is, this has not affected her outlook on life one bit.
Peggy is amazing. You know, it's her attitude, her enthusiasm for life. Every day she just wakes up and, you know, she doesn't think she's got any handicap. Hi, honey, how are you doing? That's Peggy Chun. Okay, so Lisa, let me just check the excursion checklist real quick. Okay, we got the Ambu bag, right?
Marita Salasa is one of Peggy's friends who helped create a Share the Care program called Peg's Legs. There are now about 50 people who help cover 3 two-person shifts that stay with Peg 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I am blessed with so many friends who've all come together and formed a group called Share the Care, and every hour of the day there is someone here to help me or to assist the nurses. And it's fun every day. It's a new adventure.
Critical thing, Peggy can never be left alone. She is totally paralyzed from the neck down, and she can't be left alone because something can go wrong. Tubings could come undone, and you have to be able to be there to put them back together and so she can breathe. Yeah.
Peggy's the type of person who sees light where most people see dark. And Peggy's light at the end of every week is her Friday function. Today it's out to a friend's house for a little theme party. But what used to be an easy stroll up the street has now become a very complicated excursion.
Going on an excursion with Peggy is not just putting her into the wheelchair. We've got to make sure we have all the equipment with her, the medical nursing stuff, her ambu bag, which helps her breathe in case we have some problem with the equipment. Isn't it fun to be out and about? And just think, we get to go Monday, we get to go to Sea Life Park.
So with all the medical supplies and standby airbags and a few folks to help with the process, Peggy and company head around the block. And all the while, Peggy's miraculous attitude allows her to view this as a mini parade.
It keeps me from getting depressed, and I think if you are depressed, you can't fight an illness. It brings down the immune system. And to have the friends that I have is such a blessing to me. It's more important than anything else I do, you know, medicinally. So it keeps me optimistic and going every day.
So for the next few hours, Peggy is physically out of the hospital bed, out of the house, and over at a friend's house. Her friend, Tiare Finney's home, is where she mentally steps back into life as it used to be.
Our goal is to get her out and about with friends. So every Friday I host a lunch at my home, and we do a theme lunch. And it allows her to get out, tour around the neighborhood, and be with her friends.
Look at the colors on that palette. Gosh.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, look at the color there. That's beautiful.
Only Peggy Chun would have 50 people do this because she lives large. She gives out a lot of love. She receives a lot of love in return.
Peg, the very first Friday that we ever took you to the Kaimana, we stayed till the sunset.
That was so much fun. And she already brought that pop-up tent, remember? So we had shade.
She does what she does by pretty much just sucking it up every day and, you know, thinking about life and moving on and not dwelling in the past. And, you know, she's a very positive person, and because she's positive, we're all positive too.
It's all coming on Monday for the excursion to Sea Life Park.
Is that actually happening?
It's actually happening.
Only somebody like Peggy Chun would have 50 friends rally to her side when life got really bad. And only Peggy Chun would have the courage to take on this battle with a smile and a laugh and have as much fun as life allows.
Thank you, everybody.
Truly an inspirational woman. Amazing, Peggy Chun. Okay, we've seen how she's doing. Later in the program, we'll see what she's doing. You saw what could happen with Peggy Chun's spirit and a little help from her friends. Well, now let's find out how Peggy's art has evolved.
Peggy Chun's artwork has inspired, amused, and entertained tens of thousands of people over the years. And there were those who thought that once ALS had taken the use of her legs and arms, her artistic output would be shelved as well. But anybody who thought that just didn't know Peggy very well.
Okay, you ready to paint?
I sure am, Mark. Could I please have my glasses?
It wasn't long after Peggy lost her ability to paint the conventional way that this incredibly optimistic woman decided to continue with her life's passion. But how would she do that in a wheelchair, on a ventilator, and unable to lift either hand? Well, Peggy would use the only mobile part of her body, her mouth.
I was quite depressed when I started losing my left hand, but as soon as I got back from the hospital, I just thought, well, I have great control of my head, and I painted right away. And I can do it. It'll be a different style, a little looser, but I think for any of us who create, any artist or musician, if you can't do it anymore, it would be frustrating. And so I'm just lucky that I get to keep doing it.
So it looks good.
Today, we caught up with Peggy and her painting assistant, local professional artist Mark Turner. Mark's been a friend and fan of Peggy's for years and is familiar with her style and knows his way around an easel. So with Peggy's imagination and Mark's mobility, they go to work.
She does love to paint still. I think it's one of the most important things to her and probably a little bit of what keeps her going. You can see it, that she's excited. You know, you get here, she's excited to get up, get going, eat, and painting is probably the first thing on her list to do.
I think there's something about the human soul that's so important for anyone who creates, and I think everybody's able to, you know, some of us are just more fortunate than others because we've been offered the outlet, but if you can create, I think that's one of the greatest gifts you can have for the living of life.
Her enthusiasm for life, the joy she brings other people just by being there, and her ability to make art with her mouth are just a few of the many amazing things Peggy Chun brings to the world. And of course, Peggy takes no credit of her own. Typical Peg, she credits others for her abilities.
It starts with my wonderful family. I have been blessed with the most loving family, and then all my friends who have always stood by me. I think the word for it is, one word is love. And if you're loved and feel loved, I think you can do anything in life, you know. So that's where I am. I'm very blessed.
She's an amazing woman with an attitude for life unmatched by anybody we've ever met. Peggy Chun, mom, wife, friend, painter of beautiful pictures, and all-around exceptional person.
As you can imagine, the cost of medical care for Peggy is astronomical, and it's draining the financial resources of the family. If you'd like to help out with a donation or just to buy some of Peggy's art, check out peggychun.com on the internet. You can also link to them on our website, hawaiianmovingcompany.com. We're coming right back.